But let's begin with that man who is lucky to be alive after a terrible accident caught on tape in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. And again, we should warn you, this video is disturbing. It looks like something out of an action movie. A man darts out into traffic and is hit by a car, tossing the man into the air like a rag doll before he slams onto the hood of the car, then falls into the path of a bus. But this is no movie for 28-year-old Sean Mills, who had actually been taking that bus home from work. Mills got off the bus and tried to dart across the street behind the bus when he was hit by a car and literally thrown under the bus.
Whoa! Whoa! I saw him in the air, hit the bus, then the ground. He was up as high as the bus, I think.
Watch again as a car coming up on the driver's side of the bus slammed into Mills, throwing him 15 feet into the air and against the side of the bus.
I heard the crash, and I thought that it was two cars actually crashing into each other. It was so loud. And then, you know, we looked out and saw Sean laying in the road.
Lucky for Mills, his bus driver hit the brakes moments before narrowly running over Mills.
He was folded in half. His back was definitely broken. I thought he was done. I mean, I thought there was no hope at that point.
Mills was badly injured, suffering brain trauma, spinal cord and neck injuries, and multiple fractures.
When I looked at him, I was holding his hand. I didn't think he would make it at all.
But Mills miraculously survived and spent several weeks recovering at a local rehabilitation center. Today, Mills has no memory of the accident, only this incredible video.
Whoa! Whoa!
Sean Mills is with us exclusively this morning, along with his attorney, Megan Searles. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Sean, you have no memory of the accident, so when you look at that video, that is the only way for you to know exactly what happened. What's your reaction when you see that video?
It's devastating. It's a miracle that I walked away from that one.
I know. And can you stand to look at it? I mean, it's hard for me to watch. Hard for anyone.
Yes, I can hardly stand to look at it.
And when you think back, what is the last memory that you have?
Getting on to the JTA bus on 2 hours prior to the incident. It's a 2-hour bus ride. And I remember getting onto the bus, and that is all.
Well, having lost the memory, nevertheless, when we just outlined your injuries, I mean, they were pretty devastating. You suffered trauma. Tell me more about what other injuries you suffered.
My T11, my spinal cord was crushed. I had a compound fracture on my left leg from the knee to the ankle where the bumper hit the bumper of the car. My collarbone was fractured, and my brain swelled up. I had a concussion.
And so when you think about now, you're sitting here on the Today Show, and you're talking, and I know that you're in a wheelchair normally, but you are, you look and sound terrific.
That's great.
How do you attribute this recovery?
I just thank God, and the paramedic that was there, he was off of duty, and he seen me actually flying in the air, and got out of his car, immediately responded. And the pedestrians came around and gave it their all to get me stable.
So the Good Samaritans, as well as the paramedic, then helped save your life?
Exactly. If it wasn't for those, I wouldn't be here today.
I noticed that the driver also stopped his car and ran over to you as well.
Yes.
Megan, I guess the question for you is, we don't know why Sean decided to step behind the bus and cross into ongoing traffic. Is there a legal liability? I know that the driver of that car was not cited.
Correct. The driver wasn't cited. However, we have reached a settlement with that person.
Regarding insurance and that kind
correct.
of thing.
We have reached a settlement. We are still pursuing JTA bus. You can't really see it on the video, but where Sean was allowed to get off of the bus, the sidewalk was closed. It was all under construction. So basically, there was nowhere for him to go except in the roadway where there was oncoming traffic, or for him to go ahead and cross and have an encounter such as this.
So it was you're saying that he wasn't dropped off in a place that was safe, and so maybe, because since you don't remember, can you explain at all why you would have crossed behind the bus into oncoming traffic?
Sure. Usually when I get off of the bus, I continue to go down the sidewalk on that side of the road and wait until I get to my house to cross the road. But I guess there wasn't really. I just seen there wasn't much of an alternative but to go, because the sidewalk was closed and they were doing construction work, and I seen a clear path to go across the road, so just figured I'd go ahead and
So
get on over there across the street.
So that's a
to
good
my house.
warning for anyone getting off a bus, and just to be very, very, very careful. It can be very dangerous. Sean, I know you've got a lot of physical therapy yet ahead of you, but it looks like you're doing great.
That's awesome.
So good. Thank you for
very
being
much.
here this morning, and my best to you. And Megan, thanks so much for joining us as well.